Okay. Wendy! Wendy, there we go. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get you added as a mod, but it wasn't letting me. There we go. Okay. Finally. Yes, I had... Wendy. I was trying to add it as a moderator and it would not come up for me at all. It would not come up for me at all. It was annoying me. I was mad. Oh, my nose. I'm just gonna take this for now. It's okay. It's fine. I should have thought about it earlier. I should have thought about it earlier, but I haven't been feeling well today, so you know. All right. I know. You never stress. So I'm just gonna be painting on some book pages today. That's all. Nothing crazy. A little hack for artists and moms. This is one of those like formula things that you put like the baby powder formula in for like milk and stuff. Well, when I didn't need it anymore, I decided to save it. And when I'm doing like painting and stuff, I have 3 wells of water that I get to use. Me and those. You're living the good life, Wendy. You're living the good life. That thrift store life. I'm going to not use this paper yet. I have a headache. My allergies have given me a headache today. Hold on. Put my music on, but I know I have to put it really, really low so that the microphone doesn't pick it up. And also... Alright. What? What you talking about, Wendy? I got me some coffee happening. We're gonna do a couple of things. And I know you guys have like seen me sometimes do like backgrounds and everything, but y'all can never have enough background paper, okay? This is why we buy all of those papers from the Moo and the Zon and Nice. Right? We get all of that deco paper. But guess what? We can decorate our own, y'all. So we're going to do a couple of things. If you don't have watercolor or acrylic paint, it's okay. You probably have some type of water reactive ink. Hi again, Jody. Sorry. Look, I'm going to just use these colors because why not? I'm just going to take my ink and put it on an acrylic block. And we're going to spray it with water. As much or as little as you want. And then you're going to... This is a very easy way to create like a faux watercolor background. Okay? Got that. Add a little bit of blue. And once again, you should be able to do this with any water soluble, water reactive ink. You can also do this with Crayola markers or whatever. I do have I have a plan for these as well. This is green. It can get a little bit drippy. If you want to be a little bit more precise wherever you put your colors, use a smaller If anybody wants to come in the box, let me know. Well, subscribers only anyway. If you're a subscriber and you want to come in the box, come on in. Just let me know if you want to come up. This isn't a tutorial based live. It's a craft with me live. Craft and chat for my subscribers. Anybody working on anything? I saw a video earlier on YT doing some paper flowers. So I think that's probably what I'm gonna do with these papers. Damn it, I got a little bit too wet there. You'll be back at 4. Okay, Ashley. I know, Wendy. Wendy, you don't have a craft that you could do on the sofa? So rude. I got a little bit of a tear there, but it's okay. Hubby is sleeping on the sofa. Wake his ass up. Wake him up, Wendy. Why? Oh, boy. I'm gonna just put the blue one on here. That's it. Cause I don't want to do too many of these. I've done backgrounds 20 million times already with my oxides and inks and stuff. So I don't want to do too many with those. I'm sorry, Jody. I'm so sorry. All right. So I have a specific plan for these. So what I'm going to do, do I want to? I'll do this, yeah. I'm going to rip them into some strips. However, if you're doing this with me, or you're going to do this later, post this on YouTube, whatever. You can rip them in whatever you want. I'm doing it in about 1-inch strips. You're going to watch and listen. Thank you for watching and listening, Jody. Great. So we're just going to do a couple of different things, really, with papers and paint. I've already wet my what is this thing called? Watercolor palette. Oh boy, the brain. I'm having brain problems today. Hold on. I'll do this. Yes, I did. I sprayed some water on the paint palette already. Hi, Miss Sarah. Welcome in. How are you? You did spray water on the paint. Do you need to dry? I'm not drying it with anything because I want mine kind of wet. There we go. I mean, you can dry your paint a little bit if you want, but I'm not. I'm also going to, I should have put something down, but whatever. I'm doing okay if you're done. I don't think I understand, Wendy. I'm going to wet my book paper a little bit. I don't ever clean off like my palette here. You see it's dirty. That's because it's watercolor. It's reactive to water. So when you're done, when I'm done, I'll let this dry and I'll reuse it again. I'm a very amateur watercolorer, okay? So yes, I just painted it one single color. Never mind, I'll watch. And you're Wendy, I cannot with you. Oh gosh, I cannot with Wendy. I'm not doing anything specific. Yes, if you mix blue and red, you're gonna get purple. Color theory. I plan on making paper flowers with this later. So I really do kind of want them saturated in color. Only on one side though. You don't need both sides. I'm not teaching watercolor. That's not what I'm doing. I'm watercoloring book pages that I have because I want to play with them later. And I actually want to try something else too. I want to try bunching one up first. You know how when you do tie-dye, right? If you bunch it up, it makes different little designs. Well, that's what I kind of want to see if this will do. I just kind of want to do a really rough painting job on it and see how the paper will soak it up once it's bunched up. I think that'll be cool and fun to do, especially if you plan on making like florals. Like I said, I plan on making paper flowers with these, so yeah. And now that I'm thinking about it, an even quicker way probably to do this, and dip it in water to get it nice and wet. It's nice and wet, and then I'm going to take it in here and just dip it. Remember, the more water you add to watercolor, the lighter your color will be. Okay, so just, if you do something like I did, you can see the difference in color. This one's a lot darker, this one's a lot lighter because I added more water to the pigment. We're just playing. I'm not teaching, but as I go, I will let you know things that I know anyway. Wendy says she's gonna sit in her dirty corner. Also, when you're painting on book paper, watercolor is going to react differently because it's not meant for watercolor. Book paper is a lot thinner than watercolor paper, right? So it's going to react differently to it. I'm just laughing at you, Wendy, with your dirty corner. I kind of want a snack. You're in the corner. Oh gosh. I'm gonna take a brush and brush my paper. Okay, so here's another little thing. A little water. Once again, I am not a painter. I'm not a professional watercolorist. I really have not used my watercolor in ages. Okay, so I can't, you know, I really can't teach you too much about watercolor, but there are some things that I do know for certain. When you're doing watercolor, right, which is kind of how you paint most things, you get different size brushes. A brush like this, kind of like a mop brush, is what these are kind of called. This is going to hold more water, right? It's going to hold more water. So your paper will get more wet. Thank you, Wendy. And of course, the smaller you go, the less water you hold. So if you really want to do like a wet on wet technique and you're working on a big surface, you really do kind of want something like this. Yeah, I'm using the same color. I don't know why I keep using the same color, or whatever. And I just muddied 2 waters. Oh well. So, I need to do some yellow. That's why I haven't done the yellow yet, because I know I want to do yellow and I don't want to work with a light color just yet. I want to get some of these done first. I think I'm gonna need a munchie. I'm gonna grab a couple crackers real quick. I just need something crunchy. Wendy, thank you for the gifties. I can't play any music because this is a subscriber live, and TT doesn't like it when you play copyrighted music on a TT live. So actually, the trip has been canceled. But yeah. The trip has been canceled as of now. Yeah. I've kind of had yesterday and today. Thank you, Jody. Kind of had yesterday and today to process everything and get over being mad. Because when I tell you I was mad, I was mad. I was so upset. I'm going to try not to move these papers right now because once again, it is it's book paper and it's really not meant for this much moisture. I want to wet this paper more. It'll rip if I start moving it right now. Yep. And we're going to try to avoid that. I'll probably bring out my little blow dryer in a minute and hit it. I'm eating my little crackers. I'm eating my little crackers. I really should have painted these on the mat so I could have just moved them. But whatever. I really like this yellow and this red together. And that came out really cool. I really want to play with this idea again with the bigger piece of paper. All right. I'm not going to get them totally dry, but I'm going to dry them enough so that I can move them without it getting ripped. No more dropping. Okay. No. Actually, that's drying pretty quickly too. The paint did drip over to both sides on some of them. Okay. That's gonna be it for now. Once again, I plan on doing paper flowers with these. That's why they're in strips. I mean, you can do paper flowers and not have them. Oh my goodness, Wendy, what? Wendy, that's gonna be so much to ship. My goodness. Just put them there. Put them to the side. Dry off. You're cleaning it. Oh no. I forgot my trash can. I emptied out my trash can and I completely forgot it. Oh boy. Wendy spoils me. Mm-hmm. All right. Yep. I'm crumpling paper. Be careful when you're doing this because it'll probably rip a little bit. I'm okay with that ripping for me. I'm going to spray very generously. I'm going to crumple up again because once you wet the paper, it'll soften up. So you'll get like more interesting creases and whatnot. All right. I think I'm gonna use a green this time around. I'm gonna do yellow too. I don't know why I used a small brush, but whatever. The paint looks really heavy and bright. That's totally okay because I'm going to spray this again. When you see the color that pigmented, that means there's not a lot of water in there at all. Don't let that paint go to waste on whatever surface you're working on. Go ahead and soak it up. This is probably going to come out looking like trash, but it's okay. It'll still be usable. This is what happens when you don't plan a craft. It might come out pretty cool looking. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. So here's the thing, right? When doing this with watercolor, what I should have done was created a very watery paint. And I should have dipped my paper or wet my paper. Then I should have dipped my edges into that paint, and then it would have soaked up properly the way I wanted to. But it's okay. I'm just putting this to the side like this to dry. No biggie. Apparently I want only crackers today. Jody, thank you for the heart me. Don't let that paint go to waste. It's very light, but it's okay. Alrighty. Now, I want to do another book page with stripes. Well, with lines, but I'm going to do it on the whole page instead of ripping it. Oh, I got some beautiful dirty water here. I want more yellow. I only have a few more crackers left. I'm gonna do a light green. Because I'm thinking these will be like the inside of my flower. And I'm okay with all of these colors running into each other. If you're not, do them a little bit more separately. And depending on what colors you mix, they might get a little bit muddy. I'm just putting it off to the side to dry. Okay. That's going to be enough for my flowers for later. I'm not trying to make too many, honestly. So we're going to do something else. And we're just going to paint little things on our book paper for background, collage, Or you want to cut it out, you can cut it out for ephemera or whatever. This is a really fun way to make collage paper for like ATCs. If you want to go really, really, really artsy for ATCs, this is a really good way to do that. What was the last color that I used? Blue. And we're just going to do a couple of things. So these can kind of look like either leaves or petals, whatever you want to, or hearts, depending on the way that you use your brush. So if you use your point down, right, you can kind of get it looking more like a heart. If you go that way, you can get it to look more like a leaf. My brush isn't full of water. A butterfly, yes, you could totally do a butterfly. So you see how the paint is like concentrated to one end of the brush? That's because I don't have a lot of water on my brush. Okay. Let me put some more water on my brush. Let me do that first. Okay. So I have my brush kind of nice and soaked. So now we'll get more of that color in one space. If you don't like that pooling of a color when you have a really wet brush, you just kind of go in with a towel and dampen it, pull some of that color out, and you're good to go. So the way you use a watercolor brush, it does matter. Go ahead. So Wendy said a butterfly, right? So let's go ahead and make a butterfly with just using our brush. There you go. You got that butterfly shape right there. Now once this dries, if you want the middle a little bit more concentrated with color, you can go in there and with a drier brush, just go ahead and add more color to it. You can clean it off, dry it, and then you can kind of come in and pick up some of that wetness, or even with a dry brush. Okay, if you add more water to it, it's gonna dilute that pigment. But if you use a dry brush and you just move that color around, I should be using a smaller brush for this. Let's try the smaller brush. I think I had green on here. I'm gonna leave the darker edges on the ends because I kind of like that. And also, you know, sometimes butterflies kind of have that pointy tail. So I'm gonna leave that there too. All right. I'm just gonna be done with this one for now. We're gonna put that to the side. I'll continue on with green because that's what I have on this brush. I like making a wash. What is it? It's a wash and a oh my goodness, I can't remember the terms of them, but whatever. I like doing this better, like putting water down and putting my pigment into it, than working out of my pans. That's all. Now I'm just going to make marks, because once again, these will make really good collage backgrounds. If you like doing simple little sketches too, these are fun for that. If you do sewing, right, you can cut these up, and you know those like little stitch papers that I do? This will be really fun to stitch as well. Also, now that I just did that, if you get a dry brush, mine might be a little bit too dry at this moment. Let me just get a little bit of water. So I wet my brush, but I'm gonna dry it off a little bit. And then if you just kind of run it over your paper, once it gets really, really dry, it'll kind of give you some really like scratchy lines. So that's a fun thing to do as well. And this would be a fun way to kind of make oh my god, what's that? Like a plaid type texture. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's going to be a little bit different to begin with because I started with the wet brush, but I'll show you. I'm starting with the wet brush to show you, my goodness, to show you how the dry texture comes out. You see, it comes out very, very liney. And if I want to add a different color, which my blue just kind of turned a little bit greeny, it's okay. I don't want it to be so wet, so I'm just going to dab it a little bit on my paper towel. And it's still a little bit too wet, but it's okay. We'll work it out. And I think I'm going to add a red in here. Do I want to add red or do I want to go yellow first? I'm going to go yellow first. It's an empty pan that I'm working in. And once again, I know that my brush is going to be fairly wet. It's okay. That's why I kind of pulled that yellow on to the edge first. And once again, this is just for like background colors, right? This isn't I'm not sitting here showing y'all really how to be Picasso or whatever, right? Just create your own backgrounds for your journals, your spreads, your whatevers. I just added a little bit of water to my brush so that I can kind of get that yellow painted out. Orange. You want me to do orange? I don't even... Do I have... Yeah, I do. I have orange. This is kind of the orange that I have. I don't really have a orange... Hold on. Wait. I have this little palette as well. I seriously don't really have an orange color. I don't even know how the heck that happened. I try not too much to worry about like what colors I have or don't have. As long as I have red, yellow, and blue, I can make whatever color I need. So I really don't worry about colors that I do or don't have. So I'll go ahead and make me a little bit of an orange for Wendy. Yeah, I also mix my colors too, because I'm not Picasso. Let's see if I can get this brush dry enough, because I really don't want a huge orange streak here. Yeah, I'm gonna paint the orange up here first. So you see, this is what a really wet brush gives you, and then a really dry brush. I really want to add some blue in here. I'm gonna add blue. And I'm gonna add a darker blue. I'm going to take another piece of paper to dry this off on. And once again, this is when color theory will come in, okay? If you mix like too many colors together, you're gonna get mud. This is very fall looking. And this cut down or sewn on something, use on a master board, cut out for a tag, it's gonna be beautiful. All right, now that I have this one, let's just go for it. I'm gonna wet my paper a little bit. It almost looks like a ribbon, doesn't it? I want really wet strokes right now. So I'm going to switch to my bigger brush. I think I'm going to use some purple. And I'm just going to kind of go like that. I'm trying to get into those middle lines of where that blue is. And if I do it right, those colors will blend a little bit. Right? You see how it gets a little bit darker there? Excuse me. And I think I'm just going to... I'm just playing, okay? Once again, I'm not really teaching watercolor. We're just crafting, chatting, playing. Hold on a sec. Hold on a second. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go back to doing little marks. 10K what? You're at 10K what? I don't see 10K likes. I see 3. I'm gonna go to my small brush now. And I'm actually gonna go black. I wanna do a black. Or do I wanna do this? Yeah, we're gonna, okay. I'm gonna mix a color. Yeah, I only see 3, Wendy. Wow. That's actually a pretty little kind of olive green that I accidentally made there. That's beautiful. Okay, but I do want some black in it. So I'm just gonna pick up a light black and we're gonna make an ugly dark green. How pretty. Yeah, Wendy, all I see is 3K. Yeah. 3.7. Hold on. Yeah. Alrighty. So now I'm actually going to paint some simple little things. Okay? Simple little things. Because I've been doing like magazine fodder. Magazine florals, magazine, whatever you want to call them. Typically they're just like very stemmy type deal things. Leaves, flowers, plants, trees, whatever. You can draw them or you can make them fairly simple with your paintbrushes, right? Because once again, you can use depending on the brush that you use, you can make different shapes for. So if you don't know how to draw, but you want like flowers or leaves or trees or whatever, I want it a little bit darker. I love when I can make accidental colors. Okay. So you see how I had them going that way? We're going to go the opposite direction now. So let me just kind of lay down a little stalk. This color is so pretty. Okay, and remember, right, in nature, leaves, trees, plants, flowers, animals, us, we're not perfect. We're not symmetrical, so have fun, right? Just make it kind of, if you don't know how to use your brush yet to make the leaves, it's okay. I'll show you another thing you could do, right? Just gonna make me a stalk. Here, I'm just gonna make me some branches, whatever you want to call them. You can make them thicker, thinner, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and add some circles, rough circles. Oh, I'm sorry, Jody. Welcome back. Just for funs and giggles, just add some stuff down there. Well, that's already 4:14. Okay. I'm going to continue with this color because I love this color. Do I remember what colors I used to make it? Nope. So guess what? We're going to go ahead. I'm going to make a little bit more. Because once this dries, like if I don't use all of this, I'll let it dry. And I could still use it later. I know I had a little bit of a lighter green in there. Did I go too light? I did go a little bit too light. I think I need to add a little bit of yellow or orange in here too, because it was kind of browny too. Kind of had a little bit of a brown touch. If you guys, you can go to YouTube University, free of charge, type out color theory, and then 50 million videos are going to pop up. Okay? 50 million. I'm using a very thin brush for this. Well, not very thin, but it's my smallest watercolor brush that I have. I'm just doing a little flower plant thing. I know this from memory because I've done this one 20 million times. Done it 20 million times. Now, when you're doing like little drawings or paintings like this, either on the bottom or the top. Okay, so I'm hopefully you could see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna sneeze. Yes, it's a scarecrow, Wendy. Sorry. So you see from the bottom, I kind of pulled it all from the same center. And in the top, it all, like each little line has its own ending or beginning, whatever you want to call it. Thank you, Wendy. Sorry. So, depending on how you do this, it really will change the look of whatever you're drawing. Like whatever floral plant you're drawing, it will change the look of it. The fun thing about this is with watercolor, right? So the more water you have, the lighter color you get. So if you go over, if you draw something like this out with a light color and then you go over it with a darker color or a more pigmented color, you'll get that kind of double line. And that'll naturally create like depth and a sense of like movement and things like that for you. I feel like drawing with watercolor is a lot easier than drawing with like pen and paper, if you know how to work with the watercolor anyway, because it can kind of create the shadows and highlights for you if you know what you're doing. Not to say that I know what I'm doing, but I kind of know enough. And when you're doing like plants and foliage and stuff like that, the rougher your lines are, the more natural it's going to look. Right? You see how like this one, it's not. Sorry, I had to look at the kid for a minute. I don't know. I feel like this leaf looks more natural than this leaf. Like this one is too like symmetrical for me. Whereas this one that has some like different shapes and stuff, it feels more natural. It's some type of flower, Wendy. I don't know, girl. It's a flower. It's a flower. I'm gonna turn this around and work from this side now. So if you're like, if I'm doing a fat flower, actually no, I'm not. I'm gonna go the other way. But I don't care if words are upside down or not whenever I'm doing stuff like this. So if I wanted to do another like fat flower on top, I would turn it around so my fat part can be here, my thin part can be here. But I'm not. I just changed my mind. I'm gonna do kind of a long leaf, a long, thin leaf. Or if you want to call it a feather, you can call it a feather. I'm doing a leaf though. That's what I want. These are really just kind of basic, right? And for me, what I would do, I would just do some basic stuff like this. And then I would take, like paint markers or something like that and go over it and add more to it. I'm just kind of going over it again to make the outside a little bit more A little darker. Not a little bit more darker. That don't make no sense. That's not English. A little darker. There we go. My English is awful. No, it's, I mean, yes, it is awful, but more times than not, I'm just like, I don't know, just not thinking properly for it to come out properly. Does that make any sense? Let me get some water. I'm only going to do the lines on this side. Oh my goodness. My son. Y'all, I'm going to be right back. Hold on. I got to go take care of a 3-year-old for a second. Because he's about to get in trouble. Sorry, BRB. Okay. I am back. But now I need to blow my nose. Hold up. Okay. I think I can breathe again. I think I can breathe again. Okay. Now I'm going to take my brush and get it kind of wet. It's dirty. I could already see that it has other colors in it, and I'm totally okay with that. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that very, very quickly, and I'm going to lay it down. I'm not worrying about it being like an even type of color. I want there to be darks and lights in it. That's the fun thing with watercolors, which is also makes it the most like, watercolors is probably one of the most difficult color paints to work with because it's so fluid. Oh, Ashley, I'm just painting on book paper to cut out uses ephemera, different things. You can also, if you have a clean brush with water, you can come in and normally pick up some of that pigment. It might not work so much on book paper, but when you're working on watercolor paper, if I had all of this color down, I went in with a clean brush with clean water, I could lay that down and it would pick up that pigment. Watercolor stays water reactive on any surface even after it dries. If you add more water to it, it's going to react. It's going to go somewhere. It's going to do something. I'm going back to my small brush because it's just a very loose little flower, right? It don't have to be anything crazy. A little tip when you're doing something like this. Ooh, if this little boy don't stop kicking the wall, we're about to fight. So yeah, when you're doing some florals like this, you want to do some of those really loose, liney type florals. Having a good mix of like thin and thick lines is really what's going to kind of make it pop. Yeah, me and Kiddo, we about to have words today. He's disturbing my peace. I'm going to put color down there and add a little bit of water to it. Also remember, right, flowers, they are, once again, not symmetrical. So have fun with shapes and playing if you're doing this. I think he's tired, actually. I think he's really, really tired right now. And you see, okay, you guys see the difference in the color of this. This is a lot more pigmented than that one. I added more water into this one than that one. When I'm doing something like this where I want a little bit more control over my brush, I'll hold it like a pencil. I've been drawing these types of flowers since like high school. So if you guys are finding it a little bit more difficult than what I'm doing, I've been having years and years of practice. Don't get upset with yourself. Give yourself some grace and time, right? Check out Pinterest. Pinterest is really, really good for like simple line drawings. Y'all know I have a rose. Now that I'm thinking about this, I have a rose stencil that looks similar to this. But here I am drawing on, painting on book paper because why not? Right? I have 20 million books. Unique. Yes, that's the word for it, Ashley. Unique. The thin and thick lines all come with the pressure that you apply to your brush. So the thin lines I pull up. The thin lines I pull up on my brush, and then the thicker lines I push down on my brush, if that makes any sense. Hi, Sonia. How are you? Also perspective, right? So if you put the way, okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm not in the right head to kind of talk about perspective when you're drawing. But if you look at my little roses here, okay, you can tell that the way I place the lines and where I put the center will give you a different kind of perspective, right? So these centers are dead in the center of kind of the outline circling of the flower. So if I stay symmetrical within like that circle, it's going to look like you're looking at a rose from right above. And look, I just said I wasn't in the mindset to do this, but apparently I am, but whatever. This one, you see, this is my center. And, well, this is the center of my rose, right? But the way I place the lines around it kind of has the perspective looking a little bit off, right? So when you're doing your florals, don't just always put the center of your floral in the center of that circle. Because typically if you're going to do a flower, you're going to start with a circle anyway, right? So play with the center of that circle to play with the perspective of the flower. Oh boy, that's too much art in today. That's too much for me. My brain hurts. Nope, I have 7, Wendy. Oh, Wendy. Thank you, Jody. Oh, thank you for the paper crane. Y'all didn't know I knew so much about art, did you? What the heck, your finger? It's ticky tick. You know, TT don't like me. Yeah, TT don't like us at all. Also, don't think about this too much, right? Because you can, if it doesn't look right at the end, you give up. I appreciate you trying, Wendy. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about the sniffing. I'm having a really bad allergy day. Don't give up, right? So, like, if you see a floral that you're painting and you don't like it, especially if it's a really, really loose one like this, you can go in and add thickness to it, right? You can add a few more thinner lines in there if you wanted to make it look a little bit more full. Never give up on your art projects, okay? Never, ever, ever. You can give up on tapping my screen, but don't give up on your art projects. We don't like that type of stuff around here. Yeah, it's getting bad again. Sorry. This is me doing good right now. I sound good at this moment. I've been like this all dang day too. I've already taken 2 allergy pills. I was a couple minutes away from taking something for my headache because all the sneezing and everything gave me a huge headache today. I'm really liking this. I'll have to scan this, right? Before I do anything with it, I'll have to scan it. And I feel myself, like, as I'm doing this more and more, it's just getting a little bit easier. Wendy, you're selling my artwork off? No, if I scan this, I'll probably just add it as like a freebie, digital. The cool thing is with the little art programs that I have on my iPad, that almost looks like a face. I can digitally alter. I can digitally alter the color. So I can actually make it in different colors if I want. I don't know why I would want to not do red roses, but whatever. Is anybody learning how to paint roses right now? Like little loose floral roses? Is this like, I don't know. Is this anything anybody even wanted to learn? Once again, it's not necessarily, wasn't meant to be like a tutorial based thing. But here we are. Welcome back, Sonia. Sonia, I know you're dealing with contractors. Poor thing. I can only imagine. I don't like having to deal with the AC dude that comes around to the rental, so. Okay. I think that's going to be all of my roses that I put on here. But I'm not done yet. Because I'm probably going to use this as a background paper. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some green. And we're going to do a bit of a dark and a light green to make my own little color. Because that's what we do around here. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Not bad, huh? Considering I haven't really picked up watercolor in a hot minute. I'm gonna add yellow in there. I just grabbed a different brush because the other one's full of green. I'm putting some dirty water. Oh well. Alright. I'm going to use two different brushes because I have them dirty already and I have them loaded with green color. Green paint is green paint. I know it's paint. I know. So I'm just going to do okay. That's all with that one. And then I'm going to take my smaller one and kind of do the same thing in different spots. I probably should use different greens for this, but whatever. I'm just kind of putting them where I want to put them. Okay, that's enough green for me. I'm going to take my super dirty brush and come in here and pick up a little bit of the wetness from some of the leaves. Just a little bit, not a lot of it. Also, dabbing them kind of helps blend them out a little bit more too. Like sometimes when you do watercolor, you can, if sometimes when you do watercolor, okay, depending on if you're doing like a wet on wet technique, or if your paper is a little bit more dry, or like moist on wet or whatever, or dry on wet, that's going to determine how the colors blend together. Even if it's the same color, it's going to determine how that color blends together or creates that gradient. So going in with like a little paper towel to pick up some of the darker color, right? Because this is darker, the more pigmented color over the lighter color, the less pigmented color, it'll help blend those two colors together. So you see, I didn't do that on these two. So you see it's kind of a harsher line than this or this or this. Right? Either way is okay. Totally up to you. But yeah. Alright, so I guess this is my project right now. So I like doing this. Hold on. Where's my kiddo? He's with his dad, but I don't see him. Are they in the bathroom? They might be in the bathroom. They're probably in the bathroom brushing their teeth and hands and washing their hands. It's probably what they're doing. I'm debating on if I want to go over this with a marker or a pen. I feel like I do, but I don't know yet. I think I'm just going to leave it as is and let it dry, because I don't want to mess it up. What I'll probably end up doing is scanning this and then printing it out. And if I want to do a black outline, I can do it on my printed version. And I have some, now that there's some green splatters on there already. So we're just going to go for it and add more. It's a wet watercolor brush. Wendy, I'm using a lot of green today. I think because I'm ready for it to be fall. I'm like so ready. And I don't know. In my head, fall is a... I'm just doing rough little circles, shapes. Going back to kind of doing background or collage paper. I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on the tone of the color, right? Because if you do a really bright orange, I don't consider like a bright orange fall. I don't know. For me, in my head, a bright orange is spring. Simple collage paper, guys. Simple. I know as a whole, you're probably like, Mar, what the hell are you doing? But when you when you do this and then you rip it up and cut it down and things like that, that's when it all comes to life. I'm just going to use kind of a natural soft color with this one because I don't know. Yep, there we go. And if you keep them wet enough, they'll blend into each other and make a really cool kind of thing happen. But because I'm not using too much, oops, I got a little bit of yellow in there. You see, that kind of blended together a little bit. Yep, I just muddied that water, that color, and I'm gonna go in because I want some wet. I want a wet color, so to go over that color that I just put down, just to kind of, I don't know, just making a mess. Y'all know how I am. Welcome back, Wendy. I'm about to hop off here. I appreciate you guys, you ladies, being with me today. Thank you for all the likes and the support. Our next subscriber live will be next Tuesday at the same time. Ooh. I don't know. You know what? I might take this into the next live, and then we'll make that. Actually, that sounds like a really good idea. I'll let these papers dry, right? Do what I need to do to them, like, cause you know I scan everything. Scan them, and then next live maybe we'll show you how to use them. Right? Yeah. Cool. Right. Oops, I put a little bit too much water on there. Thank you for something different, Wendy. Yes, I think that's part of why I'm kind of having like a little bit of a struggle right now, because I get bored so easily. Yeah, I just muddied that. I don't care. I get bored so easily, and I'm just kind of tired of seeing the same old stuff right now. So I needed to do something different. I don't know. But yes, I'm going to let this dry. Meetings and more meetings. Monica, you're more than late. We're done. I'm done. That's it. I will upload this to YouTube in the next couple of days when YouTube allows me to, when TikTok allows me to, like, it takes TT a couple of times to like process and all of that stuff. So I gotta wait for TikTok. Yeah, no, that's not happening. It'll be uploaded to YouTube in a couple of days. I'll of course put the link in Telegram and all of that stuff. So I did a little background there. I did this, more little background collage stuff. You know what? Next week, next subscriber live, we're gonna turn these into like little butterflies and stuff, okay? I did strips of paper like this. So if you want to get some strips of paper like this colored together, it's just strips of book paper. You could do whatever type of paper you want. So if you want to get some strips together like that for next week, we're going to make flowers out of this. Okay? So, yeah, once again, thank you, ladies. Finger hearts. I'll see you guys around. Bye.